Hey, how y'all
Hey,
doing today?
how are y'all doing?
Good. Welcome back to the
Welcome.
21 Days of Encouragement. What is the name of this series?
Let's talk about.
Let's talk about. So today we're going to talk about something that I know that's going to
Mm-hmm.
bless you, that's going to
Mm-hmm.
really touch you.
It's
So
gonna
we're going to
get
go to
good.
Judges chapter number 14.
With
And
Samson.
we're talking about Samson, and we're going to deal with
Mm-hmm.
this whole chapter. So read it, enjoy it, learn it, get to know it, because it's good. It's deep. But anyhow, let's talk about this. The first thing that I want to talk, there's so much we can talk about in Samson, but the first thing that I want to talk about is know who, or be sure, know who you're getting involved with.
Yes.
Listen to wise counsel. So many times when we get into these relationships, people warn us, people tell us we don't need to be in these
Mm-hmm.
relationships. People be like, look, child, his baby mama done came to you and been like, girl, I wouldn't if I was you. You know what I'm saying? Her exes then hit you up and be like, hey, bruh, look, man, look, real talk, man.
Chill out.
Shout it fine, but you might want to, you know what I'm saying? Listen, friends, you just really have to know and be sure about who you're getting involved with. Why do we say that? When you look at Samson, Samson sees this woman. He thinks she's absolutely gorgeous. He tells his dad and his mom, look, parents, I want her.
I want her.
Go get her for me. Make it happen.
Bring her
Arrange it.
hither.
Set it up.
Hither.
Whatever we need to do. Go get her. They're like, no, Samson, no, don't do it. But what happens? They go ahead and do it because Samson persists and says, hey, I'm bigger than y'all. I'm stronger than y'all. No, he don't say
Bring
that.
me my wife.
But he said, go get that good for me, cuz. No, he tells his parents, look, I want her, I have to have her. So they go and they make it happen. And Samson's having this big old feast because they celebrated a marriage for up to 7 days. That's where they had the wedding feast. And so they were having this wedding feast. And what happens? Samson poses a riddle because the girl's a Philistine woman. And the Philistines come at him with 30 men. And they're like, look, hold up now. Are you coming here for trouble? And Samson's like, look, if you can answer this riddle, then I'll go ahead and give you 30 linen and 30 change of clothes. But if you can't answer this, then you owe me 30 linen and 30 change of clothes. And they couldn't figure out Samson's riddle. So they pressed his woman and they said, look, go and find out why. What is the answer? You ask him to tell you, to tell us what's the answer to the riddle. And if you don't ask him to tell you, to tell us what's the answer to the riddle, then we're going to kill your whole family. So she does that. She does exactly that. She goes and she finds out the answer. And Samson is so in love. He's so trusting at this point because this is his first marriage, which we'll come back and deal with that a little bit later. But this is his first marriage. And so he's like, yeah, girl, I love you. I trust you. You know what? Here's the secret to my riddle. And what does she do? Well, he said, what's stronger than a whatever, and out of the eater comes this. He's talking about a lion, and I killed a lion, and then there was honey inside it when I came back. So he told her that. And then all of a sudden she went and told the people. They came back and gave Samson the answer. And Samson got so angry because, man, he was like, look, if you hadn't plowed with my heifer, if you hadn't messed with my woman, you wouldn't know the answer to my riddle. So doggone it, I'll get you your clothes. He was just mad. He went, killed 30 men and brought them their 30 change of clothes. Or he killed a whole bunch of men, actually. And then he went and brought them their change of clothes. And he got so angry, he just left. He just left his wife, left everything, and went into a strange land. Now, friends, listen. First off, Samson's parents had warned him about this woman.
They did.
They said, Samson, look, no, pick him from amongst our people. And Samson was like, no, I want that Philistine girl over there. Listen, friends, sometimes when people are warning you, you've got to listen. And even when people, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Here's the thing. Samson didn't have any warning signs that we know about of this young lady. But at the end of the day, Samson should have followed sound advice. His parents weren't going to steer him wrong. And I understand that, scripture often has told us, well, that the parents didn't understand that this was God had given Samson this desire because he desired to bring occasion against the Philistines.
Mhm.
I get that. There are some times where God will bring you into a crazy relationship so that he can do some mighty work. If you don't believe me, look at Hosea. It's the real truth.
Mhm.
God caused Hosea to be in love with a prostitute. He told him to marry a
With
prostitute named Gomer because he said, I want to show you and make my message more real. And even here with Samson, it says that the parents didn't understand that God had an occasion. Now, if God leads you with somebody, then you do that. You be with them. But if somebody is giving you sound wisdom, sound advice, saying, hey, listen, you might want to back off of that.
And the Philistines were our enemies.
The Philistines were.
They were enemies, and he desired to go outside of what God called holy. He was a Nazarite, which meant that he wasn't supposed to drink any strong drink.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to cut his hair. He was a holy man. He was
Mm-hmm.
dedicated to the Lord for such a time as this, to kill and to destroy the enemies that were coming against the Israelites and the people of God. So for him to go and want to be with a Philistine woman,
Right.
literally is saying, I want to step outside of the will of God, and I want to go and be with something that God has called unholy.
Yeah.
And the Philistines warred against the Israelites, the tribe of Judah, for years and years, and he wanted that woman. And
Yeah.
a lot of times we want what we want.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily need it, but we want what we want. And when we want what we want, we get the results that we don't want.
Mm-hmm.
And Samson's results was he ended up being with an untrustworthy woman.
Yeah.
That was easily persuaded.
We're going to deal with that trust. We're going to deal with that.
We're going to deal with it. She was easily persuaded. And even in this text, she talked about that he hated her more than he loved her because he wouldn't tell her the riddle.
Mm.
And he told her, and he suffered the consequences thereof. And a lot of times we get upset because somebody shows us who they really are, and we want to get angry, and we want to go off on everybody, and we want to tear down everything like Samson did. And he just he said he tore men limb from limb, because eventually his wife got taken away from him because he abandoned her.
Right.
Because he was upset.
Mm-hmm.
And
listen, men and women, when you get upset, you don't need to run off. You don't need to leave, because see, that opens up grounds for dangerous things to happen. You know, I remember there was a time, baby, you don't mind if I share our story? Okay. There was a time when I was upset with my wife, and I was about to go. I said, look, I'm going over to my best friend's house. I'm gone. You know what my wife did? She followed me outside. She went and stood by the car, and I think she stood where I possibly could have hit her and said, you ain't going nowhere.
Come back in the house.
Come back in this house. And what did I do? I put the car in park, and I went on here, came back in this house, and we talked about it. We worked it out, because when you leave in anger, it opens up the door for a lot of things to happen. And so be careful about that, leaving your spouse, especially in times of anger. You may have to go to a separate room, but you don't need to leave the house. You don't need to leave her. Mm-hmm. You need to sit there and talk sometimes and work some stuff out, because you open up the door for dangerous territory when you leave when God hadn't told you to leave.
And when he left when God hadn't told him to leave, it opened up a door for another man to step in. Mm-hmm. And she got taken by another man, and he comes back and he thinks, oh, I'm going to bring her a goat. I'm going to bring her some flowers. I'm going to bring her some candy. I'm going to bring her the new iPhone 10. And everything's going to be okay. And it wasn't. It don't work like that.
No,
every woman
she
not
was with
gonna,
another man.
Every woman's not going to let you walk out of her life and think you can walk back in. And every man's not going to do that either.
Listen, and here's the addendum to that. Don't feel as though that your spouse or whatever is supposed to be your revolving door. Look, God did not intend marriage to be that way. That's not the way he planned marriage out to be. You work those things out. Talk those things out. Don't feel like just because we married, I can come and go as I please. She's my revolving door. And when I come, her legs and everything need to open up just because that's how it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
No, God created you to be one, so you work that thing out and be together.
And if they don't open them up, I'm leaving. That is not how He designed marriage to be. We were created to be one. We are supposed to have one mind, one body, one spirit, and it doesn't all come together at once.
Yeah.
But you have to work on that thing. And here Samson is. He thought that she was a revolving door, and he could leave as long as he wanted to, and come back with a gift, and everything would be hunky dory. But it was not.
No.
And he got upset.
He got upset. Now, friends, again, listen. That's the key to this thing is when somebody shows you who they really are, or whatever. Samson, first off, when his parents told him no, he should have listened. Now, I understand, again, the scripture does say that his parents didn't understand that this was of God because he sought an occasion. But there are some times when we just outright we see it, we want it, we gotta have it. And God ain't nowhere in the mix. A friend of mine wrote a song that says, I can't have everything I see, and everything good ain't good for me. Just because it look good don't mean it's good for you. Yeah, and so I want to encourage you today, just because somebody looks good don't mean that they are good for you, that you've got to have them.
I always wanted, man, she got the hips, she got the breast, he got the arms, he got all the stuff that I wanted. Listen, the bright white teeth.
They have all of that and be as crazy as a cuckoo bird. I'm telling you. So you need to understand who you are getting involved with. Samson ain't take no time to really get to know this girl. Now, I'm not negating the scripture that says this was of God, but in our relationships, we need to understand if a relationship is of God, or if this is just our flesh acting up and acting out and saying, I want it, I gotta have it, I'm gonna get it. That ain't good. That ain't good. Don't follow the flesh.
Don't follow the flesh.
But go after what God tells you to go after. Listen, my flesh, before I met Kristen, said, look, I'm tired. I done dated 4 other women this entire year, and I'm done. I'm done. I'm just gonna settle with this one young lady. And that's going to be it. I wasn't even fully attracted to the young lady, but I said, I'm going to get there. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to build her into what I want her to be. God said, no, son, follow the Spirit, because I have a woman picked out for you, set aside for you. God's timing. I said it before. I'll say it again. God's timing is always perfect. If you trust him, then he'll work it out. Friends,
remember, be careful who you choose to love. Everybody does not deserve your love.
Listen, she said something right there. Be careful who you choose to love, and recognize and remember, you can't give husband or wife treatment to somebody who's only got a boyfriend, girlfriend status.
That's
Come on, somebody.
That's right.
Come on, somebody.
That's right.
Don't give all your goods, your trust, your love, your everything to somebody who's only your girlfriend and boyfriend.
Don't cast your pearls unto swine.
Look, wait until God opens that door, shows you that's your husband, that's your wife.
Open the door yet.
Well, that means it must not be the door, or either you need to be patient.
I need a man, a son. I got needs now.
No, God will provide every one of your needs. And if
stuff's talking to me, I need to.
You talk to the Spirit. You better talk to the Lord and just use your self-control. We talked about that during the first live video that we did. Use self-control. Self-control is a powerful tool, and a man who can exercise self-control over his body can accomplish great things.
And that's why we get in so many relationships we shouldn't be in, because we don't have any self-control and we want to feed our flesh.
Come on.
We don't want to be sleeping around with everybody. We just want to sleep with one person so it don't look bad on our resume.
Come on.
But it already look bad on your resume because you're outside of the will of God, operating in your flesh, outside of the bed of marriage.
My Lord.
Because the bed of marriage is undefiled.
We talked about that already. Listen here, friend. Let us continue to encourage you. Be careful who you end up with, who you jump in bed with. Listen, I'm going to say this, and then I'm closing. I promise you. I'm going to say this. The only protected sex that there is sex that is in the marriage bed, when you are married. Anything outside of that, I don't care if you're wearing condoms, whatever you're doing, birth control, that's still unprotected sex, because it's not protected by the sanctity of marriage, which God ordained as holy and right.
Yes.
So watch how you have all this unprotected sex. I don't care if you wrapping it up. You're still unprotected. You're uncovered. You know what I'm saying? You can keep it wrapped up and all that kind of stuff, and you still end up with something. But if you in marriage and you with your one person, ain't no way neither one of y'all should end up with nothing. I'm just saying. Listen, friends, we love you.
We love you.
You be blessed.
Be blessed.
Come back tomorrow.